Is the 20th Avenue podcast. It's your boy Dimisani Nzube, and joining me today is celebrity fitness trainer Obi of Obi Fight Club. Welcome to the podcast, bro.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. It's the first time that we have someone from the sports fraternity. It's mostly celebrities, diplomats, and influencers.
Right.
Yeah, so welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's get straight into business, bro.
All right.
So tell us, who's Obi?
Obi, well, that's a rather complex one. But if I was to describe myself off the top of my head, I would say that I'm a life-loving fitness trainer who wants to just bring back fitness to the whole world because I feel it's got so much to offer everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that a life well lived is a healthy life. So, yeah.
All right. Just take us back, to your childhood days, where you come from, and your background.
Right.
Yeah.
My father was a Nigerian citizen.
Uh-huh.
He met my mother in Holland.
Okay.
They stayed in the US for a while.
Yeah. That was before you were born.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I was born in Zambia, sorry.
All right.
I've got most of my family in Lusaka now, but I was born in the Copperbelt, Kitwe.
All right.
And I was the youngest of three boys.
All right.
We had a lot of fun. They harassed me a lot as we grew. But at the age of 9, my mother passed away.
Oh.
And we moved here with my father. So it was the three men, or should I say the three young men and my father who moved to Botswana. And here's where we've remained ever since. My father has since passed away and been buried here as well as my oldest brother. So I just have one older brother and me.
All right. So you're born in America?
No, I was born in Zambia.
In Zambia. And your mom is from Zambia?
Yes.
Okay. So you're one person who's well traveled.
Well,
Yeah.
I consider the whole world to be my home, so
Yeah.
it's just about meeting your different brothers and sisters from everywhere you go. So yeah.
Hence the accent.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
I'm an international citizen.
Yeah. Right. So how did the interest in fitness training, boxing, kung fu, karate, everything?
Where did it all stem from?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a long story. If I was to track it back to its genesis, I would probably say some of the biggest influences in my life have actually come from Hollywood.
Okay.
Cinema.
Yeah.
So in my youth, I was really obsessed with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
Mm-hmm.
Still men who I definitely respect to this day, absolutely. And so being a child growing up in the 80s and 90s, it was all about being very macho. And all of the role models that you had were big buff guys a lot of the time. So I grew up in that, and so those are my role models. I wanted to emulate that. So my love for fitness and training has actually stemmed from the time I was a child. I remember watching one movie which was particularly influential for me, which was The Big Boss by Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And that movie really made me want to pursue the line of fighting and the fighting arts. Mm-hmm. That coupled with Rocky 3. With Mr. T in it. Yeah. So man, we had that movie. I can remember days when me and my brothers would just sit down and watch and binge on those kinds of movies, and it was awesome. Yeah.
So did you at some point become a professional fighter?
Well, I did not become a professional fighter.
Uh-huh.
I'll tell you the story of how boxing came into my life. It was quite interesting.
Uh-huh.
So, I was training a young lady at the National Stadium here in Gabs.
Yeah.
And unbeknownst to me, Tuso Kubamang, who is Botswana's first professional boxer, was actually in the wings just observing us from afar, and he saw our dedication to training and all of that. The person I was training was actually a swimmer.
Oh.
She, swimming was her sport, and we were training in the wintertime when she was focused more on land training than being in the water swimming. So after we did our whole training thing one day, Tuso came up to me and was like, yo, I think that this young lady would be good for boxing, and yeah, that was where it all began. She was quite young at the time.
Yeah.
She was, how old was she now? She was like about 16?
16. Okay.
17?
Yeah.
But anyway, she needed consent from her parents, which, I helped her get. We spoke to her parents, all of that stuff. They finally agreed to having her fight, or at least train to fight, on the condition that I was going to be present to make sure that she was okay the whole ride through. So that's how me and Tuso started working together. Eventually I started taking his boxers for fitness training, and I in turn started learning boxing training, and yeah, the passion just grew from there, man.
So before that, you were just a fitness trainer?
Before that, I was predominantly just a fitness trainer.
Okay.
I did a little bit of Kung Fu.
All right.
But that was just for like a year or something. Yeah.
So like your beard style is inspired by your Kung Fu background?
Actually, my beard style is just inspired because I thought, what the hell? And besides, look, I'll be honest with you. I've always loved Kung Fu movies. Right?
Okay.
And this is a look that you will see in a lot of those movies.
Yeah.
And I've always thought to myself, I'm gonna do that one day.
Yeah.
And then one of my best friends, he actually started growing his beard like this, and I thought to myself, this is a sign.
Okay.
It's time. And so I started growing mine as well.
So with Kung Fu, did you get to a certain level of a belt or no?
No.
Okay.
It was just purely recreational and yeah, just for fun, and I didn't get any kind of grading or anything like that. And to be honest with you, at the time, my fitness focus wasn't quite as much as it is now. I was still into a whole bunch of different things, so I had a lot of distractions, and the whole Kung Fu thing was there. I liked it, but I guess because of my age at the time when I was doing it, I got a little more distracted more easily.
By the girls and stuff.
Yeah, there you go. By all kinds of things.
Yeah. So at this level, you're still young. You're not taking it professionally. At which point you decide to take this as your professional, like as your real job, as your 9 to 5?
Ooh, that was... I would say that was a little bit over 14, 15 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old are you by then?
Oh, right. Well, let's see. Right now I am 43 as I speak to you, so do the math.
You're looking 30, bro.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
For a 43-year-old, trust me, that's a big compliment.
Serious. Okay, so this is when you decide to do it professionally.
Yeah.
So which steps do you take now?
Right. So what happened was I got certified as a as a boxing coach. And ironically, I got certified under the very guy who trained Tuso.
Okay.
And I was also certified by Kumiso Ikopoleng.
All right.
Yeah. So I consider myself extremely lucky because I think that I couldn't have been certified by two better and more experienced people, especially in this part of the world. So yeah, I was very blessed to have that happen for me.
And what is your family saying? You're telling them that you're taking a professional route to being a fitness trainer, and your peers are in varsity studying engineering,
man,
and other things.
It was wild, man. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, my brother, I remember telling him that I got certified as a coach and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, okay, that's nice, good for you," But you could see, like, in the eye, that doubt, like, where is this really going to take you? Because a lot of people a lot of people do have the understanding, the mentality, the mindset that if you're not working a traditional 9 to 5 job, if you're not sitting in an office taking orders from a superior, then your life is probably not going to go anywhere. But that's the whole beauty about life. I used to think that way too. And then along the way, I discovered that things are not quite as linear as most people would make them. There's endless scope of variabilities and all kinds of alternate ways to accomplish a given goal. you know, and a given goal that is extremely satisfying and fulfilling to you personally. I think that people often doubt that they can make a real living off of their passion. And to be honest with you, passionately is the way that you are supposed to live. Because if you don't see value in what it is that you're doing, if you don't see the impact that you're making, if you don't feel like as though it's appreciated and you don't see its effects as far as the big picture is concerned, chances are you're going to be pretty miserable in that job. And when you consider that we give like 2/3 of our life to our work, it's pretty, pardon my French, but it's pretty shitty for you to think to yourself that 2/3 of your life will be grinding away doing something that you hate. You've only got one life, so live it well.
Okay, well said. So now you've started, like, you have your own training space and stuff like that. How is it like? Back then, I'm sure there wasn't Facebook yet to be advertising yourself. Like, how did you manage to draw like clients and be able to pay your bills?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, pre-corona, I was full-time at the gym.
Okay.
All of my clients would come to me at the gym and I would service my clients and take them through workouts, all of that, promoting health that way. Corona hit. Went into lockdown, and I remember thinking to myself and sitting during lockdown, I was like, we don't know when we're gonna come out of this. And we don't know what the world is gonna be like once we come out of this. But all I know is that we are gonna be stepping into a new world. And so to step into a new world with old tactics, it probably would not apply or be very successful. And I knew that many people would struggle to find their feet. So I decided I was going to be a little bit proactive and start expanding my online presence and pushing online fitness more and more and more. Because having to separate and socially distance presents challenges. And if you don't adapt and move around those challenges, you're gonna find yourself spinning your wheels in the same spot, which is what I've seen happen to so many people post-corona. I mean, there's a lot of people who are gonna come to the gym and they are in worse shape now than they were before lockdown because of lockdown. And a lot of them still haven't recovered from that. You know, they got into bad habits. They stopped going to the gym. They stopped training. Because a lot of training for some people is also about the social and close interactions that you get with the people that you're training with. That's part of the benefit, part of the reward of training, is that social connection. So during this whole pandemic period, I decided I was going to try and build up a community of online people that may try to offer that kind of support system for one another. And so far it's worked out pretty well. It's worked out pretty well. Yes, it's not as, or should I say, no, it's not as, it's not quite the same feeling as having a person there in person. However, it gets the job done. It's about adjustment and adaptation. So people adapt well.
But how have you managed to build your clientele base? I'm talking of the time even before the social media era.
Right. Mainly on reputation. Mainly on reputation, because what I personally believe is that I want my clients to embody a certain outlook, physique, and project themselves a certain way. When there is progress in their fitness journey and they are happy, they're obviously going to talk about it, and the people in their spheres and lives are also going to notice. And I find that word of mouth is probably the most effective advertising means, because if you know a person and you trust a person and that person makes a recommendation to you, you're more likely to take it more seriously than if I was just to hand you a flyer as a person who you don't know anything about on the corner.
All right. So you know in this world the people that are called chancers.
Chances.
Yeah. Like I can copy one or two tactics, Obis tactics, and I go to a certain gym and be like, no, I'm also a fitness trainer, and then I start like getting clients and stuff like that. So how do you conceptualize your what you call your workout routines and stuff like that? Like, how do you know that this is for someone of this body mass, this is for someone of this height, and this person is supposed to be doing this to their body or a certain diet? Like, how do you conceptualize this?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody is different. That's number one. Number two, knowing that everyone is different. You see, the benefit is that I've had a lot of years in this field.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, let's push heavy. You're not going to get all the results you want just by solely pushing heavy or running 20 kilometers every day. It's not quite as cut and dry. And once you understand and start applying scientific principles of understanding different body types, understanding the impact of certain types of exercise and knowing what happens within the body because of what it is that you're making your clients do. When you are based on something as practical and as time proven as science, as opposed to just taking a couple of YouTube workouts from random people who may be chancers, you don't know, I don't know. It's really just a coin toss. But bottom line is, when you are trusting in time-tested, scientifically proven strategies, there is a methodology behind that, which you can only learn through learning. And that's not going to come to you through chancing. And that's why it is that I'm happy that I went on the courses that I did, that I became certified as a trainer, that I was able to gain a deeper understanding and knowledge of the inner workings of the skills that I was learning, that I'd be able to be more useful to the people it is that I'm serving. I believe that a trainer should be able to justify his costs. And if someone says, like, you know, they feel like they're being overpriced, then that means that you may be under-delivering as far as a service is concerned when you're a trainer. Yeah. That is one possibility.
So what's your take on these young kids who are the so-called chancers? And what's your take also on the current like look in your industry, like fitness training industry?
Well, as far as the chancers would go, there is the whole fake it till you make it concept.
Yeah.
And now look, I'm not completely and entirely against that. To a degree, most people in this industry, when they get started, they're faking it. Let's just be honest about it. Yeah. However, you should be open to learning, number one, and number two, even above being open to learning, well, actually no. Being very open to learning is number one. Number two is understanding that you are not just taking a chance with yourself. You're taking a chance with other people's bodies. And I've heard all kinds of horror stories about guys who have done all manner of incredible things to their clients in the name of fitness and wound up damaging permanently. Wow. So you have to be extremely careful. Take yourself seriously and understand that the only way it is, or should I say the best way it is for you to grow and to grow your business is to grow yourself and to grow your knowledge base and understand that you're here to provide a service. So the more you are of service, the more you can actually charge, because your stuff is grounded, it's quality, and therefore you should be able to ask a premium for it. I don't see Mercedes-Benz begging anybody for customers. If you cannot afford a Benz, you can't afford a Benz. It's a quality car. So
when are you dropping your mixtape?
That's a good question.
Because you're bars, bro. All right. Yeah. So the clients are coming. One thing that people have always said about you is that you have discipline. You're disciplined. Yeah, because as a trainer, you're disciplined. With these young kids, chances of professional, like let's say there are different types of clients who come through. Obviously, there's women, and women when they were dressed like for training, they wear tight clothes, revealing stuff and stuff like that, and they end up taking advantage of these women. It's a disturbing trend in the fitness world. Yeah.
I've seen that happen in this industry. It's regrettable because it casts a poor light on everyone within the industry, whether you indulge in that kind of behavior or not. It's just a bad look overall, and that's when you have guys talking about, oh, I don't want my girl to have a trainer because all these guys are just like, they're trying to get into their pants. Not really though.
Yeah.
This is a real problem, but you see, once again, it's about focus. It's about knowing what you are there for. Yeah. Are you there to gratify yourself and the desires of your flesh, or are you there to provide a service? And if you lose focus, then this is really not the industry for you. And I can tell you straight up that this is not an industry that's easy for everybody.
Yeah.
Because you will get offers.
From time to time. Okay. Now I get what you mean.
I mean, I know of fellow trainers who have gotten all kinds of offers.
Yeah.
From clientele. Yeah. But I keep on telling people, you see, when you start crossing those lines, you really start to mess with your money.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you can pay your rent with jokes and hugs and smiles. We live in a real world that requires real money, and if you're gonna mess with your real money like that, then you're only adding fuel to the potential fire of your downfall. Yeah.
But okay, no, I get you, and I hope these kids are listening, because you're an influential person in the industry. So let's hope they're listening and paying attention to it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Earlier on, you mentioned that you're 43, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which means that you're born in
1978. August
10th. Yeah. That's a long time ago, bro.
Yep.
Like your peers now, are looking very old.
Yep.
Have bellies. Yeah. Some have back pains.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I know you're a fitness trainer, but how do you manage to keep in shape? Do you go for a workout before you go to work? To help other people to work out. How take us through that routine, your personal routine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I believe that you have to walk and talk.
Okay.
Especially in this industry. I cannot ask my clientele to do anything that I myself am not willing to do.
Okay.
And so I like to prioritize my exercise, and I tell all of my clientele to do the same.
Yeah.
Prioritize exercise. So what'll happen is I'm gonna wake up every day at 4:45 a.m.
You wake up at 4:45 every day?
Yeah.
From Monday to Saturday, every day?
Every day.
Okay.
I believe in trying to go to bed at the same time and waking at the same time.
What time do you go to bed?
I try to go to bed between 9 and 10 p.m.
Okay.
And I rise at 4:45.
Okay.
Now, the reason I do that is, well, there's several reasons, but one of the main ones is that sets your body's clock, so to speak.
Okay.
That regularity is very good for your body as far as your hormones are concerned, as far as everything basically in your body is concerned. It works better on a schedule, and I find especially as I've aged.
All right, wisdom.
Yeah. It's always better to get into a routine and a schedule of activity to set and regulate your hormonal releases and all of that at the appropriate times and stuff. I'm also big time into doing things like my intermittent fasting. Okay. That's another topic.
Okay.
But yeah, first off, prioritize exercise. Start off your day with exercise. Sometimes I'll actually work out with my clients.
Okay.
I'll work out with my clients on 3 days a week, early in the morning at 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Then I'll also work out in the evenings sometimes. But, well, with clients
Okay.
and alone sometimes, depending on the day and how I feel. Some days I've got a little too much energy, so I'll do things like go outside and jump rope for an hour by myself.
All right.
So, yeah, it's
all right.
that's what it is that I do.
Yeah.
So prioritizing exercise, doing doing things like your stretching. Stretching is also extremely important. Stretching and foam rolling for recovery purposes.
Right.
Because people don't understand that fitness is like a two-sided coin. You've got the one side of it, which is about the training and the diet and all of that stuff. Then you've got the other flip side, which is the recovery.
Okay.
And without sufficient recovery, you're not going to optimize your results as far as your exertion levels when you're pushing weights or doing whatever fitness routine it is that you do in the gym or wherever else. And you're not going to be optimizing yourself properly as far as even nutritionally speaking. Because when your body is fatigued, it's very dysregulated and it's not able to optimize all of its functions, including how it is that you utilize and burn off your food. So,
All right.
very important things.
Speaking of fatigue, don't you ever get fatigued, bro? Waking up at 4:30, 4:45 every day. Work out every day, twice in a day. Like, don't you ever get fatigued?
Yes.
Yes, it means you get fatigued.
I get fatigued. Everyone would get fatigued. I
Yeah.
mean, and once again, that's one of the reasons why recovery is so important, and having a solid understanding of how best A, to recover, and B, specifically how your own body recovers.
Okay.
I have a foam roller that's a deep tissue roller.
Yeah.
So I'll often foam roll my whole body because it's able to massage my fascia.
Okay.
And it's able to get me to a point where my muscles are able to properly relax and hence recover a lot better.
Okay.
I recommend foam rolling for everybody, but especially once you cross your 40s.
All right. All right. Talking of 40s and bellies.
Yeah.
I know it's not everyone of us who goes to the gym. Like we've guys who, like, as a man, as you grow, you tend to grow a belly.
Yeah.
And for women also, like, they tend to grow certain tissues, like as you grow. Mostly speaking for men, like, what would you advise them? Like, some people can't go to the gym every day due to their schedules and stuff like that. But to avoid that belly, that disturbing feature,
Right.
yeah, like, what can you advise them to do? Yeah, I am asking for free advice.
And I'll happily solicit that advice.
Yeah.
Well, excuse me. What would I recommend for a 40-something-year-old average person who does want to reduce belly fat?
Yes.
You know, there's an expression that goes, "You are what you eat."
Yes.
That's where I would start.
Okay.
Whatever passes your lips, start to examine it.
You become that thing.
Yeah. You see, because if you are not eating quality food, a lot of the time that's going to show physically.
Okay.
You're going to be picking up all kinds of things that you don't want, and your body is also going to tell you that what it is that you're doing to it is not right.
Okay.
Look at the condition of prediabetes, for instance. I'm not picking on anyone, I'm just using this as an example.
Yeah.
When you are pre-diabetic with type 2 diabetes, that's something that's extremely preventable. And it's all from what it is that you're putting in. Your body loses its sensitivity to insulin because you're loading it up and stressing it out with more sugars and stuff that it can't really handle. So once you start putting quality things into your mouth, the effects are going to start to happen a lot slower than if you were to combine it with exercise, but it still happens nonetheless. If you cannot do anything as far as your exercise routine is concerned, at least look into what you can do nutritionally, and that means being a lot more attentive to what it is that you're putting into your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stage number 1 is you are what you eat, and if you want to be looking in a to look a certain type of way, you have to eat properly.
Yeah.
Question number 2 is still in line to that one. Some people agree, we say they can't go to the gym due to their schedules. Some will tell you that they can't afford going there. So how can they maintain that health lifestyle, like the diet you've spoken about it, but now the workout routine, like how do they know that I'm weighing 110 kg, I'm this height, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, how can I do it for myself, like draft something for myself?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, number 1 is you need to understand where exactly you are.
Yeah.
And not delude yourself either.
Okay.
Because you're gonna find a guy who's weighing in at, let's say, 130 kilos.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a big guy.
Yeah.
Right? By no stretch of the imagination is that person small.
Yeah.
You'll get a person that big saying something like, okay, so to lose this weight, I'm gonna try and do a 10-kilometer run every day.
Yeah.
That, quite frankly, would be ill-advised.
Oh. Okay.
The reason why I would say it's ill-advised is so. You're a big person, number one. Number two, you're probably not accustomed to moving very much, especially at that size.
Yeah.
Number three, you have got joints, my friend.
Yeah.
I want you to think about the size of your ankle joint and your knee joint. Carrying that big frame, taking impact from running every step for 10 Ks. What are the chances that that person is soon, maybe not on the first day, maybe not on the second day, maybe not even the first week, but what's the chances are that that person's going to start to develop issues with their joints because of that impact at that weight? Pretty high. So I wouldn't even start there with the run. I would start off with doing the most basic thing most people can do, barring certain other sections of the populace who are just simply unable to, and that is walk.
Okay.
Okay? So walking for long periods is actually probably one of the better things that you could do for yourself. Reason being, it's low impact, it's not that demanding on your cardiovascular system, and you can keep it going for a long time. And it burns a decent amount of calories at the same time. So it mobilizes the body and gets all of your muscles to work, albeit at a low intensity. They are still working. You are still burning calories. There is still benefit that's coming to you as far as your hormones and fat loss and fat burning and all kinds of good things. So yeah, I would recommend that you start walking.
Okay.
It's one of the most underrated forms of training, I would say, in fitness. Just being able to walk.
Guys, it's the pro talking here, the sincere. Yeah. Talking of substance abuse in the fitness world, we have certain kids who use what you call supplements. Yeah, they just buy supplements because they're so sorry and so using supplements to look masculine and stuff like that. Like, what's your take and advice when it comes to substance use?
Right.
Yeah, in the fitness industry. Yeah.
Well, I'm no stranger to people taking all kinds of things in order to reach their goals. But there are some things that are worth taking and other things that are not.
Yeah.
Okay? My personal feel and my personal take is that the fitness industry over a long period of time has in a sense lost its way. Why do I say that? Look at how heavily commercialized the fitness industry has become as far as supplementation. You are going to need they convince you that you need supplements for just about every conceivable thing. You're going to take a pre-workout, you're going to take a whey protein, you're going to take a post-workout, you're going to take things like that are going to help with your recovery. You're going to take branched chain amino acids. You're just going to keep on taking and taking. And now my first question is, how much can your liver really take?
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
There are supplements that make other supplements work more effectively when you take. I mean, it's getting ridiculous now. It's like, now don't think that I'm against supplementation, because no, that's not what I'm saying. All that I'm saying is that we have become so carried away to think that all of our progress is going to rely on us depending on a substance or a supplement. And quite frankly, that's not ideal, one. And number two, that's also extremely unnecessary. And number three, if you are at that point where you feel like as though you cannot do anything at all without supplementation, then you're in a very bad place, my friend. Mm-hmm. When you delve back and you search back into the history of fitness, you're gonna come across a name, Eugene Sandow. Considered the godfather of fitness, or the originator of the modern fitness industry as we know it. Okay. His focus was not just on the aesthetics of, oh, I want to be big and strong. Mm-hmm. This is in an era way before supplementation, way before all of this is the genesis of it all. His focus was to optimize the person's physical fitness level and health. It was on fitness and health. That was the focus. Now we pay more attention to aesthetics, how we look, and size, because everyone seems to think that the bigger I get, for guys, let me put it that way, the bigger I get, the better. Yeah. That's the mindset of a lot of guys, but you'll see a guy who is huge, like muscle on muscle. Mm-hmm. He's got bicep, tricep, he's got every kind of sep. Yeah. He looks like a sep. And this individual cannot even get up a flight of stairs without losing his breath. Now I ask you, is that really the optimum as far as your physical fitness is concerned? Mm-hmm. Only you can answer that for yourself. Yeah. But for me personally, and the way it is that I have studied the human body, and the way it is that I know the human body was designed to move and interact with its environment, that is not optimal. Okay. Yeah. Still talking of supplements, there's new items that people are taking. Hair bags, hlasela mafuta, and this other stuff like this herbal teas, and whereby you can lose like up to 50 kg in a month. Yeah. Yeah. Is that even advisable? Is it healthy? Why is it not found in pharmacies? Quite frankly, is it healthy? It depends on what exactly the specific product is that you're taking. Yeah. My fix in general, my overview, is, especially when it comes to things like these weight loss teas, I'm sorry to say, I know that a lot of people do believe in them, but I, for one, do not. Yeah. And you're gonna find that the ones that do work, it's at a cost. The original ones. Cost. Uh-huh. And that cost could be to your health overall in the long run. Yeah. Because people always seem to look for shortcuts, thinking that there's no ramifications. Mm-hmm. But trust me, you're always going to pay a price. If not as far as your money, it could be as far as your health or the health of your internal organs. So do what resonates with you, but for me personally, I would stay away from certain things and keep things as basic and simple as possible. If you're gonna drink something that they tell you, okay, you're only gonna drink this for a week, and then you have diarrhea that whole week, you drop 50 kilos, but at the end of it, you're not even feeling very good. And you feel like death warmed up. You'll be sweating bullets. All to fit into that one outfit for that one day at what cost? Yeah. So, which one would you say is the best supplement? Natural. Let's just talk of natural stuff. Well, you know what? I like to keep things as basically natural as possible. Mm-hmm. And if you feel that you're not getting enough from your diet, research and find out what exactly it is that you feel your shortfall is. Yeah. You may find that you may need a little bit more zinc, and instead of having to go with a whole multivitamin, you may just need to separate and just buy a zinc supplement to just boost that one element to your diet, for instance. Yeah. It takes deliberate effort, my people. Yeah. I mean, people seem to think that this whole fitness thing is just supposed to come easy like this, you know? There's a lot of sweat that you yourself have to put in. Yeah. A lot of sweat equity. Yeah. I mean, if you think about a lot of the experiences that most people would deem as worthy or or beneficial in their life, you're going to find that it always comes at the pain of cost.
Yeah.
A good marriage is not easy. It
There's a
comes
lot
at
of
a
good behind
cost.
it. Yeah.
A good relationship is not easy. Comes at a cost. Getting educated is not easy. It comes at a cost. But the question is it worth it in the long run? I don't think that there's anyone who can say, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Because if you do it right, it'll always be worth it. So why should fitness be any different? There's a price to pay, sometimes, very often, a very uncomfortable price. But at the end of the day, it is worth it. Nobody stands there with their degree in hand after suffering for years and years studying and says, maybe I should use this as toilet paper now. Or just say very few people would.
Yeah.
There's value in it because you have sweated for it, you have focused for it, and you finally attained it. And if it's something that you're passionate about, all the better.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. You have to find something that you are extremely passionate about within the circle of fitness, because I've seen people take on certain fitness regimens and they're absolutely miserable. You should be looking forward to your workout. It should be something that you enjoy. If that means that your workout is karate because you enjoy karate, by all means, go for it.
Get a black belt.
Absolutely. If your idea of fun as far as fitness is concerned is going rock climbing, please, by all means, get that body moving. Go. Do that. If it's kettlebell training, please pick up those kettlebells. Work them. If it's bodyweight training, please, by all means, do your push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. Do something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Then it will definitely be worth it.
So, this next question, I'm asking it on behalf of a lot of people. It's December, man.
Yeah.
Apart from that, with people who consume alcohol, they love their alcohol, they love a health lifestyle.
Yeah.
They work out, but sometimes balancing it is difficult.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm sure you don't have any problem against alcohol.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But how would you advise imbibers? I choose a special word.
Of course.
Imbibers.
Those who imbibe.
Yeah.
My advice to drinkers is don't do it. But on a more serious note, my advice to drinkers is simple indeed. Number one, you're going to need to reduce the amount of alcohol that it is that you consume. I like to tell people to try and consume about, if you're really, really serious about weight loss, I would not go over 2 or so glasses of alcohol per week. Now, note I did not say 2 bottles. Note I did not say
2 quarts.
2 quarts.
Yeah.
2 glasses.
Okay. If you're saying 2 glasses, which size? Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking about a 250 ml glass, basically.
Sort of like a small Coke can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't recommend anything more than about 2 glasses of wine per week, for instance. When it comes to beer and cider, I recommend just steering clear of those if you can. Or being extremely mindful of your consumption. Don't go past 1 can, bro. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
If you're really serious about your fitness goals, but you also don't want to be that wet blanket at the party who's not drinking anything with your friends. Just keep it simple, man. Just keep it very simple. And I'd also recommend going for spirits more than I would recommend beers.
Okay.
Because they've generally got a few less calories than beers. Beers higher in as far as caloric value.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the people who imbibe, if you can, stay away from it. If you have to drink, keep it extremely moderate. Just stick to 1 glass for the night. Or you could have 2 glasses for the night and then just not drink for about a week. But I know that that's impractical for many people, especially in December. So I'd just say is reduce the amounts that you're drinking.
Yeah.
And maybe switch what it is that you're drinking from beers to spirits and champagne.
Popping
Try
bottles.
to avoid the wine, but if you have to, all right, keep it at a glass.
So they can still pop bottles and stay away from beers and ciders.
Yeah. It's December after all. We should have fun.
Obi, it's been nice having you on this podcast, bro. We wish to have you more often. Have this interactive conversation which are so educative. We're having fun. We're not talking like in a serious manner. Like we're just having fun, but we're like dropping bars.
Yeah.
And we're expecting you to come when you're coming back to come with your mixtape.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming.
No, thank you very much, Obi. And we hope to see you in the gym soon.
Absolutely.
After December, though.
Absolutely. We'll do some damage control.
Yeah, we'll do some. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's the 20th Avenue podcast. I'm with Obi here. We out.